Okay, class, we will revise today the third topic of this chapter, that is CSV file, right? We have done text file and binary file, and this is the third kind that we need to do. CSV file, as the name suggests, it's comma separated value files. How it looks like, I showed you earlier in my notes. Okay, let me share my screen with you. Um, if you remember, in the notes I have given you earlier, that's, for example, this is a file, like look at this, ABCD, it's a CSV file, Microsoft comma separated value files. You can read it here clearly. If I open it, though it says to be opened through MS Excel, I will open it through Notepad because we can easily figure it out what is happening over there. Look at this, I created a file, and the file is, you can see the data is separated by a comma, right? That's why it is called a comma separated value files. Different lines are there. Okay, now let's see how we can create such a kind of file. But before we get into the CSV file, one thing we have to understand, while doing the binary file handling and text file handling, we have seen that we make use of a file object, right? File object makes a connection with the disk file. What is a file object? File object basically makes a connection with the disk file, in the sense it works as a buffer. What is happening in case of CSV file, if you look at the figure, you will understand. I have just made it for you. When I'm writing onto a disk file, okay, this is my program. My program is connecting me to a file object, which is F. Normally we name it as F. Now here what you need to do, CSV file is a rather slower process of writing data onto a disk file. Okay, because of the mechanism, because of that extra comma coming in between the data, it is a slower process than binary file writing and or the text file writing. So what happens here, you need to take here two different buffers. These are basically two different memory locations, you can say, temporary memory locations. One is file object and one is writer object. Okay, what happens when you write data from the program works very fast, right? So the data is flushed in a fraction of second towards the disk file, but the writing process is not as fast as the execution of the program, fine. So there is a mismatch in the speed. At the speed which the program sent the data, at the same speed the things cannot be written onto the disk file, because writing onto the disk file takes time. So that is why there are two memory locations. Look at this, one is file object, okay, and another is your writer object. These two basically hold the data for time being, and as per the capacity, as per the writing speed, it releases the data slowly. That means, from look at this, the process number 1 is very fast, but 2 and 3 here basically the synchronization of speed will take place. Depending on the speed of writing on the disk file, 2 will release the data for this thing, that is file object will release the data for writer object will slowly release the data for disk file. That is how finally from the program data are being written onto the disk file. And while reading, what is happening, exactly opposite thing is happening. From the disk file you are trying to read, and here what will happen, here it has to again pass through two more temporary memory locations. One is file object, another is called reader object, fine. The disk file, again here the process number 1 is a very slow process, but when from reader object the data is moved to the program, that is an execution, okay, that is very fast. So here also, according to the basically the number 2 and number 3 in these two places basically has to match with the process number 1. That's why, depending on the speed at which it's being read, a stream of data is basically sent from file object to reader object, and from reader object again the data reach program, and then only we get to see what is written on a disk file, fine. Now this reader object and writer object, these two temporary memory locations were not there in case of binary file or in case of text file. We had only file object in between. But here one more thing will come into action. This we have to remember at first. So what we have a program, we have file object. File object has to be there, you know it, you have been using it. Now in this case, CSV file, when you are writing onto a file, a writer object will come, and when you are reading from a file, a reader object will come in between. Just remember, this point. Now let us go back to the program which I already opened for you. Okay, what was happening? Look at this. I imported CSV, right? CSV is the package here. I opened the file into writing mode. Here also we use the same modes, writing modes, W, A for appending, R for reading. Okay. Now what I have done, look at this, I have input a name, I have input a percentage, right? And then I took a blank list. You can see that ST is the blank list. And I just copied these two data as elements of the list. And then I'm writing the function. Now, one more thing you need to notice here, that f.open I have done to make a relation between the disk file xyz.csv and f. Okay, that was the first connection. Now the second connection here, second connection is the writer object which I was talking about. Okay, in order to create a writer object, what you need to do, there is a function called writer function that is under this CSV package. So writer function you need to use csv.writer f. So this is what basically makes a bridge between the file object and the writer object. Now you can use this WOBJ or the writer object to write things on a disk file in a CSV format. So what I was explaining, I input name and the percentage. I put those two values as elements of a list. Okay, a blank list was taken. And then when I'm writing, look at this writer object. Writer object has a function called write row. One function is write row, another is write rows. There are two functions. I will just tell you what is it. Okay, I'm using write row here. So it is writing the data like a row. Like a row means in the sense all the values which are there as an elements of the list will be written like a line. Okay. So this is how it will be written onto the disk file. How it will be written, because WOBJ is this writer object is here connected to F. F is connected to the disk file, that is xyz.csv. Okay. Now again after this I have done the similar process basically two times. Okay, I have taken another name, another percentage, exactly the same thing I have done. I have written another row. By write row I wanted to write another piece of information, and then I close the file. Now I open the file again. Reading means I have to open the file again in reading mode, right? Now here we do the opposite thing. There we have used writer object. Here I will do the reader object. So this is my reader object ROBJ, and I connected it to the file object F. So all the data that is passed through F will flow through this reader object, fine. And then what happens, once you have done this, all the data which are written onto the CSV file will be appearing like different rows or different elements, you can say, of a list. Okay, so I wrote for P in ROBJ, fine. That means P will fetch every element of the list, and then P will be printed on the screen. Okay, so if I run this program, look at this, what happens. I will run the program, and then I will show you how basically your XYZ looks like. Fine. So I took a name and I took a percentage. Fine. I took another name. Okay. And I wrote another percentage. Done. So look at this. It's doing, what is it doing? It's doing a blank line in between. Can you see that? It printed one row of the, you can say, one particular set of information, but it is printing like a list. Look at this. It is printing like a list, a blank list. Again, the second value which I entered, and again a blank list. Okay. In fact, if you look at the CSV file, you will have a better idea what I mean to say. Look at the condition of your XYZ. This is the one I have just now created. Fine. If I open it through Notepad once again, look at this. It is printing like, it is in the file, it's written like this, Arun and the percentage. There is a blank line here, and there is the second information. Now, why this blank line? So to avoid the blank line, what we can do is in this syntax, where we wrote the open function, when we are writing it, you can just add one more thing called new line equal to nothing. New line equal to null. If you write new line equal to null, then that extra line will not come. Okay. Now let us run it once again. If I run it once again, look at this. Again, I entered the similar thing. I wrote like this. Now look at this, there is no extra line. And if you look at the file, the same file, that XYZ, you will be able to make out what I'm trying to tell you. If I open it through Notepad once again, look at this, now there is no such extra line. But how I read the file, I read the file like elements of a list, fine. And that is why my output also came like an element of the list. This is the one. Look at this. Here, the first time, this is, you can see, you can easily make out. The whole line, the whole chunk of data, whole line is read like a list, wherein every data which are separated by comma are the elements of the list. That is how it is written. So basically, if I wanted here, I could have made use of the data in different ways. What I mean to say, instead of printing P, you know this property very well, that unpacking of list. Okay, so let's take that there are two variables, nm and per. These two are the name and the percentage equal to P. If you write it this way, you can also format your data slightly. What I mean to say is, you can write here, instead of printing it in the form of a list, elements of a list, you can write like nm. You can just format whichever way you want. Scored, somebody, the name scored, whatever percentage. So we can print it like this also. But before that, you have to unpack the row, unpack the elements of a list into two variables. This rule you have understood, you have learned in class 11. I hope you remember this. Okay. Now if you run, look at this, how the output will come. You write the name once again. Okay. I wrote two percentages. Look at this. Now that it comes, Ankit scored 89.5, Sneha scored whatever. That means I'm able to separate the values very easily, right? That is what I mean to say. This was a different program. I was able to separate the values quite easily. Fine. I think this was the program which was doing. So fine, what I did, I just unpacked the values of P. P is a list, it is reading like a list, I showed you. So it is just unpacking the values here. Okay, in my next video, I will tell you some more on this.